Hi everyone and welcome to Dean Park and the fascinating world of backscenes, or no backscenes. Whether you add backscenes to your layout or not is very much a personal choice. Some people think that adding photographic backscenes, like the ones I use here at Dean Park, help add depth to the layout, whilst others much prefer just a simple blue painted background, while others still prefer no backscene at all. There are many different types of backscene available to the Railway Modeller in different heights and in different scales. There are the photographic self-adhesive ones that I use here at Dean Park, and also you get the ones that you have to attach with, say, adhesive or wallpaper paste. Going back decades really, the original ones that I remember seeing as a child were the ones from Pico, and these, while still on the market, do look a little bit cartoon-like and dated. With the advances in printing technology over the last decade or so, we're now getting good representations of photographs put onto the backscene, and it helps lift your layout and make it a little bit more realistic. I, for one, prefer to use a backscene. There's several reasons for that, but the main two is that it looks more realistic when I'm doing photos and videos of the layout, and also it hides all the clutter in the loft that you don't really want to see when you're enjoying your layout. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install the self-adhesive photographic backscenes onto a pre-painted backboard. If you have any questions or queries, please get in touch using the comment section below. If you want to support the channel, please hit those like and the subscribe icons. I really appreciate it, and it helps grow the Dean Park channel. This video actually came about as a result of a request from the viewer who asked how I fitted my photographic backscenes to the backboards. This is the finished article here, so let's rewind a little bit and I'll show you the installation process. Right, what I'm doing here is I'm cutting the backscene because it's going to flow across onto the next section, and this is so it ties seamlessly in with the backscenes at the corner of the building site. And it really is a case of measure twice, cut once with this. Make sure you're using a sharp, fresh blade and hold the steel rule carefully in place. You'll notice I'm using a cutting mat there as well. Right, what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that the end of the backscene lines up perfectly with the end of the backboard. And apologies for the legs here, it was a pretty warm weekend. Then what I'm going to do is I peel the film away from the back of the polypropylene adhesive backscene. Now this has a tendency to kind of reattach itself, so even just peel it back 2 or 3 inches and then cut the end off the film so that the sticky back is exposed at all times. Then the trick is to get this to line up with the end of the backboard again, and carefully and tentatively place it down onto the backboard. You've really got to take your time with this. You can readjust the backscene, but once it's stuck firmly in position and you then peel it back, you've got to be very careful because the printed ink on the surface of the polypropylene can start to deteriorate. So I've really got it lined up at the top here. I'm happy. I've got it tentatively stuck down the edge, and I'm happy to move on with the next bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab a hold of the peeled back film and start to move the film back as I then press down on the backscene. Obviously make sure all the surfaces of the backboard are clean. Now this is something you've really got to take your time with and press as you go. I use this kind of green microfiber cloth, just something you'd get for, you know, cleaning your car. I actually got these out of Halfords, and they're nice and soft so they'll not damage the surface of your backscene. I'm pressing quite firmly here. It might not look like that, but I'm making sure that there's no air bubbles in the backscene. Slow and steady really is the order of the day here. As you can see, my right hand is under the backscene and that's got hold of the film, and as I pull that away, I then press down with the green cloth. Keep checking as you go. If there's any bubbles at this point, you can always peel the back scene away and redo it. But it's a case of just working your way slowly along. Don't detach too much of the film at once. Just go slowly with the actual peeling back of that. These polypropylene back scenes are fantastic. However, in warmer weather, the odd bubble or blister can appear. For example, last autumn I put on the new back scenes along the back of the station, and they were fine all through the winter. I went up on Saturday when it was the hottest day of the year so far, and I saw some blistering and bubbling along the length of these back scenes. So I had to pop those with a pin and push them down, and in some cases I actually peeled away from the edge of the back scene to remove the blister and then pushed it back down into position. You've got to be careful with that though, that you don't remove the ink on the printed surface. So yeah, printed back scenes are fantastic, but they're not totally maintenance free. You could use Foamex for this. They do recommend you use that for applying the back scenes. However, if you look at the length of my layout, I did a lot of Foamex. It's not the cheapest, and it's not got the rigidity of the plywood. So I've gone with this ply glossy finish surface, and I have to say in the main it does the job very well. To make sure there are no little blisters or air pockets, I'm using an artist's print roller here with a bit of paper just to protect the back scene, just to make sure there are no hidden little issues. You will feel them when you use the roller, so you can then peel the back scene away again and relay it, or pop them with a pin. But if you don't get it right now, it will store up issues for you in the future. And even though you do think you've got it bang on, be prepared for that blister or raised bubble appearing in extreme hot temperatures. You can see here I'm continuing to pull the film away from the back scene and really press hard there on the back scenes. You can use, some people do for vinyls, a squeegee type, almost like a credit card, where you can use that to smooth it out as you go. I'd err on the caution with that. The printed back scenes aren't as robust as, say, a printed professional decal or a vinyl that you might put on a car, for example. So just be careful what you use when you're pressing down on the back scene itself. I've been fitting back scenes at Dean Park for a few years now, so I've kind of got into a rhythm how I like to work. It's not foolproof. As I've said, that I do require a little bit of maintenance for the odd bubble and blister appearing. The alternative to the self-adhesive ones is just the card ones where you attach with wallpaper paste, for example. However, that's a little bit more on the messy side and risks getting the paste on the surface of your back scene. So there really is a trade-off between the card and the self-adhesive ones. Well, I'm glad I've got that done. Certainly manoeuvring that 8-foot section back into position, negotiating all the trusses in the loft, certainly required a bit of patience. It's designed to slide out and fit back in to allow me to get some good angles on the layout when I'm doing some videoing, but also when it's in position, I think that it gives a much better look to the layout. In future, I'll be adding new back scenes to the west end of the layout, which is behind the camera, and I'll also be refreshing the ones behind the depot as well. It's not a task I would say I look forward to, but as I said during the video, it's a constant piece of maintenance with regard to the back scenes. They look nice when they're all in position and new and fresh, but over time they do tend to fade a little bit, and as I said earlier, sometimes bubbles can just creep in that can't be repaired or popped, and you have to look at doing something about it. So that'll be the future plans for the back scenes, as I said, at the west end and at the side of the depot in the coming months. But for now, I think I'll enjoy running some trains and doing some other tasks around Dean Park. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to hit those like and the subscribe icons, and I'll see you in the next video.